Prosecutors say a whistleblower who works here noticed something wasn't right, and that led to a widespread investigation. Look at each person facing the camera in each of these images. They are all the same person, according to prosecutors, who say the woman who posed as all of these different men and women did it for dangerous reasons.
Driving a massive truck through our streets where our children are playing, it is disturbing.
The Nassau District Attorney calls it a corruption ring at the DMV in Garden City. That's where, she says, 35-year-old Jamie Middleton took commercial driver's license or...
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me you went through the trouble of going to different men's clothing stores and buying men's clothing and putting on glasses and disguises, all these things? I see one picture you have on a mustache, and you neglected to take off your nails? You making it way too easy for the police, baby girl. What is this, an episode of Scooby-Doo? Jesus.
CDL written exams for 7 different people. Investigators say that each time she'd use disguises, sunglasses, and surgical masks to look like a different person taking the exam.
For the right price, they'd allow anyone to get a CDL permit.
The DA said 3 workers at the DMV were in on it with Middleton, the test taker, including Middleton's sister, 𝐿, a supervisor at the DMV. This shows what happened, according to investigators. Workers would have on their computers a photo of the person who was supposed to take the test, but they'd let Middleton, who's clearly not the person on the computer screen, take it instead. She'd split a $1,500 to $3,000 payment for each bogus test with accomplices in the DMV, the DA said. One person Middleton allegedly took the written test for drove a truck based out of this sanitation facility in Hempstead. James Nurse, according to investigators, is the only person whose exam Middleton took who actually got a full license.
Let me pause this for a minute real quick, because this individual, his name is James Nurse, as you just heard. So he was the only individual out of the, I believe, 10 people that she took exams for that passed the physical driving exam, right? But the crazy part about it is he was able to obtain a job as a sanitation worker for the city of Hempstead, and he held that position for over a year, like a year and a half. So imagine, there's rules of the road that they have to follow. This guy somehow obtained the job. Well, we know how he obtained the job, right? And was not legit, just out here winging it for over a year and a half, driving those big sanitation trucks. This is embarrassing, man.
Why?
Because every driver must take a road test.
And that? At least 2 would-be drivers, Umesh Mohan and Renee Sarwi, failed, say prosecutors. Everybody allegedly involved faces up to 7 years in prison if found guilty, and this investigation continues.
All right, let me break this story down for y'all, right? Because somebody sent me this, and I was like, okay, I got to do a video about this, because this is just another example of people willing to lose their livelihood over a couple extra dollars. And oftentimes the amount of money that they are receiving for committing these criminal acts while on a job, they could probably make it in a couple months if they just grind it out and just put their head down. But you know, the fast money is very enticing. So let me break down how the scheme worked, right? So this person right here, Jamie Middleton, is the one they're saying is the alleged mastermind of the whole operation, right? So her sister, being the supervisor at the DMV, you know, they come up with this scheme that she will take the written exam, CDL exams for drivers for a fee, and they just have to take the driving exam. Now, the fee that she's alleged to have charged was between $1,500 to $3,000 per exam, right? And they said she took about exams for 10 people. She took exams for about 10 people. So there's 4 individuals involved in the scheme. Let's say 3,000 on the high end, split between 4 people. Is that, I'm not a mathematician, but I'm pretty sure that that's not worth, he said they're facing up to 7 years in prison for this. Like, and I'm willing to bet, right, the person who's the whistleblower is someone that was probably wanting to be cut in on the scheme, and they were like, nah, we got enough people, we don't need any more people, yeah, we good. And that person was like, oh yeah, okay, watch this. But it's interesting because I've seen like an influx of these type of stories where people are willing to roll the dice, risk their freedom. And there was recently a story in Georgia where there was, I believe, 3 to 4 jailers there at the facilities or prisons there that had like an operation where they were letting contraband into the jails. They had drones, they were using drones, all type of stuff, right? And listen to the sheriff break down how he felt about it when he learned that this was going on.
Because it's just a reminder that we still, after all the warnings from the sheriff, after the warnings from other command, after officers being arrested, even in our roll calls, that people are still willing to put themselves at risk and other officers at risk, inmates at risk, to bring contraband into the jail. There's a stigma about law enforcement that there's a blue wall of silence and we protect our own.
Now, you heard the sheriff, right? He said, listen, I know y'all heard about this blue wall of silence within the law enforcement community, but I promise you, if y'all committing any illegal acts in my facilities, we gonna find you and we gonna hold you accountable for it. Now, I've heard that the going rate for phone chargers in the prisons is like 1,500 right now, and I think the going rate for cell phones is like 3,000. So, you know, some people like, hey man, yeah, 3,000 a phone, I could. But what happens when you get caught? You got to make bail. The people that you were supporting, your family, they're depending on you. Now they got to figure it out. And if you go to jail, that figuring it out period is going to be for an extended period of time. So it's like, is it worth it at the end of the day, man? I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. But the DMV scheme, that was out of Long Island, New York. And it's just crazy that the lengths that people would take in order to make a couple extra dollars, man. It is what it is. But I appreciate y'all for following me, supporting the videos, and continue to like and share and subscribe.